You're listening live to Gen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight we are going to talk about some hockey with the Blue Jackets, the Monsters, and we can't leave out those Ohio State Lady Buckeyes. We will be talking about some NFL free agency. What have the Browns done? We will talk some soccer with the Crew and the Crunch. And we will wrap things up with some basketball with the Cavs. And who's still playing for the Cavs? Because everybody's hurt. We'll talk about the Charge. And then we will talk some volleyball. Also, not good news there. And some baseball. So stay tuned for all of that. Before we get started on tonight's show, let's get a little housekeeping out of the way. For the last 9 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And of course, we've got to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And you can follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky and check out their website, planetjerky.net. Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can get with Cecilia to place your orders at sealthedeal_wax stamps on Instagram. And you can find them on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And once again, thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, let's get into some hockey. The Columbus Blue Jackets played the Pittsburgh Penguins on Tuesday. The Penguins scored first, and then they scored second, and they were up 2-0 at the end of one. It was Cole Sillinger's 200th NHL game. Then in the second period, Johnny Gaudreau scored a goal, and then Andrew Peeke tied it up. And it was his first goal of the season. Zach Werenski recorded his 200th career assist, making him the first CBJ defenseman to hit that mark. Then the Pens scored a power play goal, and the Blue Jackets were down 3-2 at the end of the second period. Jack Roslovic scored a shorthanded goal, And then the Pens scored a power play goal, and then they got another goal. And the Blue Jackets ended up losing 5-3. Jet Greaves was assigned back to Cleveland. And on Thursday, the Blue Jackets faced the Edmonton Oilers. Matthew Olivier scored a goal. Then Alex Nylander scored a goal. Then Dmitry Voronkov scored a goal. And the Blue Jackets were up 3-0 at the end of one. And with that goal, Voronkov tied Connor Bedard for the rookie lead in goals scored. Bedard has since scored a couple of goals, so they are no longer tied, but, he was tied with him for a minute. That's cool. Then Edmonton scored a goal in the second period, and the Blue Jackets were up 3-1 at the end of two. Then Edmonton scored a power play goal, and then Jack Roslovic scored an empty netter, bringing the final score to 4-2. The Blue Jackets beat the Edmonton Oilers. The Blue Jackets then recalled Trey Fix-Wolanski from Cleveland, and then they traded Jack Roslovic to the New York Rangers for a conditional fourth-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. It will become a third if the Rangers make the Stanley Cup Finals this season. Then they traded Andrew Peeke to the Boston Bruins for defenseman Jacob Zboril. And he was then assigned to Cleveland. And they also got a third-round pick in the 2027 draft. Kent Johnson underwent successful surgery to repair a torn labrum and is expected to make a full recovery in about 6 months, which would put him sometime in September of 2024. And then they also traded future considerations to the St. Louis Blues for goaltender Malcolm Subban, who was then also assigned to Cleveland. And the Blue Jackets are very funny on their social media account and said, "Thank you so much for everything, future considerations." Silly Blue Jackets. Anyway, on Saturday, the Blue Jackets played the Nashville Predators. The Predators scored first, and the Blue Jackets were down 1-0 at the end of one. Alexander Texier tied it up in the second period, and Boone Jenner had a goal that was negated due to a high stick. So at the end of two, it was tied 1-1. Then the Predators did get a goal in the third, and the Blue Jackets ended up losing 2-1. Their next games are tonight against the Montreal Canadiens, Thursday against the Ottawa Senators, Saturday against the San Jose Sharks, and Sunday against the Winnipeg Jets. The Blue Jackets recalled Carson Meyer from Cleveland on an emergency recall because Justin Danforth has a concussion, and according to Vincent, he is not day to day, so whatever that means. I'm guessing he's going to be out for some time. And then today they recalled Brendan Gaunce on an emergency recall because Kirill Marchenko is not feeling well and will be a game time decision for tonight's game. So we shall wait and see what happens with that. The Monsters also did not fare so well this past week. They released goaltender Brett Brachuk from his PTO, and they loaned Pavel Kajan to the Cincinnati Cyclones. Friday, they played the Laval Rocket and lost 4-1. David Juracek scored the only goal. Saturday, they again played the Laval Rocket and lost 5-2. Brendan Gaunce and Hunter McCowan scored the goals. Their next games are tonight against the Grand Rapids Griffins, Sunday and Monday against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and they are currently second in the North Division, one game behind Syracuse, but they are both tied in points at 72. Now for some miscellaneous college, which will include the Ohio State women's hockey team. Ohio State women's hockey coach Nadine Muzeral was named WCHA Coach of the Year. Cleveland State men's tennis's Lincoln Battle and Devin Boyer were named Horizon League Doubles Team of the Week. Cleveland State men's tennis's Lincoln Battle was also named Singles Player of the Week for the fourth time. OSU women's hockey is the number one seed in the NCAA women's hockey tournament. Saturday, they played Wisconsin and lost 6-3 in the final game of the regular season. They finished the season at 32-4 overall and 26-2 in the conference. Both losses were to Wisconsin. Marvin Harrison Jr. was the unanimous first-team All-American and Biletnikoff Award winner. On Sunday, number 7 Ohio State men's hockey won 3-1 over number 5 Wisconsin. So at least the men beat Wisconsin. And Ohio State men's hockey will face number 1 Michigan State in the semifinals next Saturday. So that is going to wrap things up for all things hockey and miscellaneous college. I am going to take a short break, and when I return, we will talk some NFL free agency and some football, also known as soccer. So stay tuned to the show of the land with me, Jen B, on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Yins Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. So shout out to Taryn Rodriguez, host of our Set Point show on Mondays. That is our volleyball show. So if you love volleyball, be sure to check him out. He knows everything there is to know about volleyball. So get on there and check him out. He also does our SoCal Supreme Sports show that covers all things Southern California sports. And Ralph Calise is also in the chat. Shout out to Ralph. He hosts the Yinzer Report, our Pittsburgh show that was just on right before me. So be sure to check him out for all things Pittsburgh sports. And Ralph says AFC North, best division in the NFL. And I guess Joe Flacco not coming back. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. But Taryn, our volleyball know-it-all, has pointed out that Ohio State men's volleyball has some exciting matches coming up. So hold on to your hats for the free agency. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk volleyball real quick. Ohio State men's volleyball has a big week. They will be hosting number 13 Ball State in an MIVA conference showdown on Thursday. And the Buckeyes are currently ranked number 8. The Buckeyes will also be playing Purdue Fort Wayne on Saturday, and the last time these two teams met, it was a barn burner of a matchup with the Buckeyes winning 3-2 in 5 sets. So that should be an interesting match. So good luck to the Ohio State men's volleyball team as they get ready for these two great matchups this week. And while we're on volleyball, we will talk about the Fury, who did not fare so well this past week. Saturday, they played the Grand Rapids Rise. They lost set 1, 25-15. They won set 2, 25-13. So I thought things were turning around. Not so much. Set 3, they lost 25-17, and set 4, they lost 25-23, losing the match 3-1. Monday, they played the Vegas Thrill. They won set 1, 25-21. They lost set 2, 26-28. They lost set 3, 17-25. And set 4, 16-25. So they lost the match once again, 3-1. They have now fallen to third and a record of 4-4. They do not have any upcoming matches. They will not play again until the 20th. So we will talk more about that next week. But hopefully some of these ladies who have been injured can get healthy and get back in it. And Taryn just gave me an update on Sam Driscoll. She is out with a concussion. She has missed the last 2 matches. So hopefully by next Wednesday when they play again, they can get Sam back. And maybe even Asia O'Neal, who has been in and out with an ankle injury. But on a good note, Jenna Rosenthal did return to play. She played in that she played towards the end of the first set in Vegas, and she played the majority of the second set. I don't recall if she was in much in the third or fourth, but she was definitely in most of the second and the end of the first, and her coming in actually is what spurred the win of the only set that they won during that match. So hopefully they could get nice and healed up before they start back up next week. So on to the Browns and what is happening in NFL free agency. So prior to the opening of legal tampering, the Browns restructured left tackle Jedrick Wills to open up more cap space. It was a little over $10 million that they cleared, and they entered free agency with about $17 million in cap space and 55 of 90 roster spots filled. The Lions were showing some interest in a potential trade for Greg Newsome. That did not happen, and the Lions have since signed a couple of cornerbacks, so I don't think it will be happening. But the Browns are reportedly shopping Greg Newsome and Wyatt Teller for possible trades. The Browns traded a 2024 5th and 6th round pick to the Broncos for wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, which should complete the wide receiver room. Not to say they won't draft a wide receiver, but chances are it will not be the 2nd round pick where they will take a wide receiver. If they take one at all, it will be in one of the later rounds most likely. Browns free agent Mike Ford signed with the Texans. Free agent Anthony Walker Jr. signed with the Dolphins. The Browns are re-signing Zadarius Smith to a 2-year contract worth $23.5 million, up to $25 million. So I believe once we have all the details of that, there will be some incentives thrown in there. They also are re-signing Maurice Hurst to a 1-year deal. They also are going to be signing linebacker Jordan Hicks to a 2-year deal. He was a Vikings free agent. Browns free agent Sione Takitaki is going to sign with the Patriots. And the Browns are going to be signing Bills free agent running back Nyheim Hines. And he is super excited because he's already been tweeting about it. They also are going to be signing a quarterback, Jameis Winston, to be Deshaun Watson's backup. And Josina Anderson had a conversation with Jameis Winston after this was announced to get his thoughts. And he said, "Yes, I still envision myself as a starter. However, the Lord has also called me to lead by impacting and increasing the men who are around me. having the opportunity to work with Deshaun Watson and help him be the best he can possibly be is my main mission. Now, if Deshaun has to heal up for whatever reason and I have to take a few games off of him, I'm going to be ready to do that. But I have to fulfill God's purpose before my own heart's desire, because ultimately I desire to win some Super Bowls. And this roster that Cleveland got looks like they can do it. So, welcome to the Dog Pound, Jameis Winston. The Browns also are re-signing a defensive tackle Shelby Harris and offensive guard Michael Dunn. And they are going to be signing Vikings free agent offensive tackle Hakeem Adeniji. And Browns free agent defensive tackle Jordan Elliott is signing with the 49ers on a 2-year, $10 million deal. So congratulations to him, because there's no way in hell the Browns were paying him that much money. And in other news regarding Browns Stadium, it was just announced that WWE SummerSlam will be held at Cleveland Browns Stadium on Saturday, August 3rd. And if you are a wrestling fan, be sure to check out our wrestling show, i.e. Elite Wrestling Show with SoCal Saint. He is very into wrestling, so it is a great show. I have not watched wrestling in years, but I love listening to his show because he's so fired up. So be sure to check that out. Now for some soccer. The Columbus Crew on Wednesday, they played the Houston Dynamo, and at halftime it was 0-0. The Dynamo scored at 59 minutes, but it was negated with an offsides call. Christian Ramirez scored a goal at 74 minutes, which was also negated on an offsides call. Then Alex Matan scored a goal at 90 plus 6 minutes on a free kick to win 1-0. It was the Crew's first win in Houston since 2011. Saturday, they played the Chicago Fire. Jason Russell Rowe had a goal at 68 minutes, and Chicago tied it up at 72 minutes. And at 90 minutes, the Crew's Mudson was given a yellow card, and there was 12 minutes of stoppage time added. 12 minutes. Crazy. The stoppage time in soccer this season so far has been crazy. And Mo Farsi scored a goal at 90 plus 9 to win the match 2-1. Mo Farsi was named a match day starter and was also the man of the match. Jason Russell Rowe was named to the match day bench. Their next match is tonight. It's going on right now. And it is currently at 23 minutes and still tied 0-0. They are playing the leg 2 of the round of 16 in the CONCACAF Championship against the Houston Dynamo. And Saturday they will play the New York Red Bulls. So I will update you on where things stand with the Crew towards the end of the show. But now on to the Cleveland Crunch. The Cleveland Crunch played the Chicago Mustangs on Saturday, so it was just a Chicago-Columbus soccer, or Chicago-Ohio soccer fest on Saturday. At the end of the first quarter, the Crunch was up 4-1. At the end of the half, they were up 7-1. At the end of the third, they were up 8-1. And they ended up winning 12-3. Mario Musa was the man of the match with 7 saves. Their next games are Friday at the Omaha Kings and then Saturday at the Omaha Kings. So that should be interesting. It'll be the first time that they've had 2 games in the same week. So we shall see how that plays out. But they are currently doing very well. They've only had 1 loss. So we will see how that continues to go. Shout out to Patty Bax, who just jumped in the chat. Thank you for joining. She will be right after me with the Buffalo Huddle. And Ralph Calise says, SummerSlam in the Dog Pound. That's going to be insane. Yes, it shall be. But that is going to wrap things up for all things football and football, I think. Let me just double check my notifications. No, not Browns related. Nope. No new news for the Browns. So, yes, that is going to wrap things up for football and football. So I am going to take another short break, and when I return, we will talk basketball and baseball. So stay tuned to the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's talk some college basketball. So Cleveland State men's basketball played IUPUI on Tuesday and won 85-66 to advance to the quarter finals in the Horizon League tournament. Ohio State women's basketball's Cody McMahon was named All Big Ten first team. Congratulations to Cody. Cleveland State men's basketball played Youngstown State in the quarterfinals and won 82-70. Cleveland State women's basketball played Northern Kentucky in the Horizon League quarterfinals and won 88-78. Ohio State women's basketball played Maryland in the Big Ten quarterfinals and lost 82-61. Cleveland State men's basketball was set to face a number 1 seed Oakland in the Horizon League semifinal, and unfortunately, they did not win. They lost 74-71. So close. Cleveland State was the number 7 seed, so that is quite a feat. Cleveland State women's basketball played number 4 Wright State yesterday and won, but I did not catch the score of that, so they advanced and were set to play CSU's women's basketball team is ranked number 1, and they played number 2 seed Green Bay today, and unfortunately they ended up losing 64-40. So both Cleveland State teams have been eliminated. And on Friday, Kent State men's basketball played Toledo and lost 86-71. The MAC men's basketball tournament is set to start on Thursday, and Kent State will be playing number 8. Kent State will be playing number 1 Toledo again. And number 2 Akron will be playing number 7 Miami of Ohio. On a Saturday, Kent State women's basketball played Toledo and lost 83-66. Sunday, OSU men's basketball played Rutgers and won 73-51. finishing out the regular season on a 4-game win streak. They are currently the number 10 seed in the Big Ten tournament and will face number 7 Iowa on Thursday. And Ohio State men's basketball's guard Bruce Thornton was named All Big Ten third team. So congratulations to Bruce. Now for some Cleveland Cavaliers. On Tuesday, they played the Boston Celtics without Donovan Mitchell or Max Strus. The starting lineup was Darius Garland, Sam Merrill, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of the first quarter, they were down 33-25. At the end of the half, they were down 55-45. At the end of 3, they were down 87-71. But they won 105-104. Dean Wade led with 23 points and also hit the game winner. Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland both had double-doubles. Jarrett Allen with 21 points and 12 rebounds. Darius Garland with 16 points and 11 assists. Evan Mobley left in the first half with an ankle sprain and did not return. The Cavs were down by 22 in the fourth quarter, and this was the largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. Wednesday, they played the Atlanta Hawks without Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Strus. The starting lineup was Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, George Niang, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. Mobley is expected to miss at least a week. At the end of the first quarter, they were down 31-28. At the end of the half, they were down 64-49. At the end of 3, they were up 89-87, and they ended up losing 112-101. Jarrett Allen led with 18 points and also recorded a double-double with 19 rebounds. On Friday, they played the Minnesota Timberwolves, again without Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Strus. The starting 5 were Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, George Niang, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of 1, they were up 25-23. The end of the half, they were up 54-50. At the end of 3, they were down 80-79. At the end of the 4th, it was tied at 97, so to overtime it went. And the Cavs ended up winning in overtime, 113-104. Darius Garland led with 34 points. Jarrett Allen recorded a double-double with 33 points and 18 rebounds. 33 points was a career high for Jarrett Allen. Max Strus, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley were all ruled out for the Nets game, and Dean Wade also out for personal reasons. So the starting 5 against the Nets on Sunday were Jarrett Allen, Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, George Niang, and Jarrett Allen. It was the 17th different starting lineup of the season. Yuck. At the end of 1, they were down 29-28. The end of the half, they were down 52-51. At the end of 3, they were down 96-80. And they ended up losing 120-101. George Niang led with 20 points. And that is all she wrote for that game. Oh, Columbus scored. The Crew is winning. Woohoo! Let's see who got the goal. If you're not going to tell me the right information, Google has been so weird lately. It's all over the place. Let's see. Who scored the goal? Alright, well, once it updates, I'll tell you who scored the goal because Google is currently behind Oh, they just gave us a point. Okay. So as soon as it posts who scored it, I will let you know. Anyway, last night the Cavs played the Phoenix Suns with all of those guys still out. So the starting five were Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, George Niang, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, they were up 41-29. At the end of the half, they were up 70-63. The end of three, they were down 97-91. And they ended up losing 117 to 111. And, of course, it was Cucho Hernandez that scored the goal. So, back to the Cavs. Darius Garland led with 30 points. Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert both recorded double-doubles. Jarrett Allen with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Karis LeVert with 17 points and 11 assists. And the Cavs' next games are tomorrow against the New Orleans Pelicans, Saturday against the Houston Rockets, and Monday against the Indiana Pacers. Donovan Mitchell is returning to basketball activities and is hopeful to return during the road trip. Evan Mobley is out of his walking boot, but not expected to be back before Donovan Mitchell. I believe Tristan Thompson's suspension is almost up, and he should be returning, I believe, this weekend, if not early next week. So hopefully we can get somebody back, because this sucks. Like, everybody's hurt. And Darius Garland has gotten hurt in the last 2 games. Luckily, he has not been hurt enough to not play. But after one of the games, he had ice on his wrist. And he left yesterday's game for a period of time with it after rolling his ankle. But he did return, so apparently it wasn't too bad. So we will see what the status is come tomorrow when they start announcing the lineup. Hopefully it does not leave out Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Max Strus. Max Strus' injury is knee injury. I guess he's been dealing with all season. That's just been getting progressively worse as the season has progressed. And J.B. Bickerstaff said he will play when he feels comfortable playing. So, who knows when Max Strus will be back. The Cavs are currently third in the East and 1 game behind the Milwaukee Bucks for second place and 9.5 games back from the Celtics in first. I'm so tired of injuries. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm so tired of it. After all them injuries we had to deal with the Browns, now this craziness with the Cavs. I just hope the Guardians can stay healthy. Now on to the Charge. The Charge traded guard John Elmore to the Stockton Kings for a second-round pick in the 2024 draft. And then they traded that pick to the Osceola Magic for guard Trey Maddox. Saturday, they played the Motor City Cruise and lost 106-96. Isaiah Mobley, I cannot say that name today. Isaiah Mobley and Devontae Shuler led with 15 points each. Mobley also recorded a double-double with 10 rebounds. Earlier today at like 11 o'clock this morning for some reason, they played the Greensboro Swarm and lost 95-82. D'Baji Walker led with 15 points. And the Charge's next games are Friday against the Raptors 9:05, and then again Sunday against the Raptors 9:05. And the Charge are currently in 12th place in the East. And last but not least, some Guardians news. The Guardians optioned right-handed pitcher Daniel Espino and outfielder George Valera to AAA Columbus. Gavin Williams has soreness in his throwing elbow and is being held out for a couple of days as precaution. It's nothing serious, according to manager Stephen Vogt. Gabriel Arias missed one of the spring training games with an illness. Austin Hedges collided with another player in warm-ups and has a bruise near his eye and is being held out as a precaution. And then today they optioned left-handed pitcher Cantillo. I didn't write down his first name apparently. Cantillo, whoever that is. Infielder Juan Brito, infield/outfield John Kenzie Noel, outfielder Jonathan Rodriguez, all to AAA Columbus, and then they reassigned right-handed pitcher Franco Alleman, right-handed pitcher Nick Enright, right-handed pitcher Mason Hickman, catcher Michael Berglund, and catcher Eric Rodriguez to minor league camp. So we shall see how things continue to progress with the Guardians. They are trying to determine who will play center field and who will play shortstop. The rest of the positions are pretty much, somewhat set. Left field is set with Stephen Kwan. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Second base, Andres Jimenez. I forgot his name there for a second. First base, Josh Naylor. The regular catcher will be Bo Naylor with Austin Hedges as the backup. And then the starting pitcher rotation is likely to be Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, Garrett Williams, Tanner Bybee, and Logan Allen. We will see if anything changes there, because from what I have been hearing from spring training is that Logan Allen has not been doing so well, so they may opt to go with somebody else over him. We shall see. But that is where things stand, and that is gonna wrap things up for the show, because I really don't have much else. I guess I could talk about the options for those positions that are still open. So for shortstop, it's between Gabriel Arias, Brian Rocchio, and Angel Martinez. Center field is Miles Straw. Blech. I can't stand Miles Straw, and I keep waiting for them to option him or designate him, but they haven't yet, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, Miles Straw, Ramon Laureano, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Tyler Freeman. And then right field will probably be alternate between Ramon Laureano and Will Brennan. There's some other possibilities there, but as of right now, that's probably where things stand. Juan Brito was a possibility for shortstop, but since they optioned him to AAA, I'd say he's no longer an option. So we will see how that all ends up playing out. The players spoke today and had nothing but positive things to say about their new manager, Stephen Vogt. So that was good to hear, because it was a little concerning how things would go with a new manager first time. Hopefully that will play out, and maybe we'll get some playoff baseball this year. But again, it's up for tonight, so let's cue that music. And thank you once again for joining me tonight on the Show of the Land with Jen B. That's me. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, and Threads at BelieveLand Girl, and on TikTok at Jen.BelieveLand. Also follow the show for daily updates on Cleveland and Columbus sports news on X at Show of the Land IE. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax with all that is Buffalo sports. Be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we should have some definitive signings for the Browns in free agency next week, and we'll see what's going on with those beat-up Cavs and see if the Blue Jackets go on a little winning spree and screw up some playoff hopes for some other teams, because they sure won't be screwing up their own because they don't have it. But anyway, that will be all. Thank you once again for joining me on the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio.
What?